Yes, everybody, good morning. Welcome back to Forever United TV, the 27th of August. Days are ticking away in the transfer window. Big updates this morning. Very, very confident updates from Fabrizio Romano on a couple of Manchester United deals heading out of Old Trafford. Bringing you the updates, of course, on the incomings or lack of. Update on Jadon Sancho also, and everything else that you want to get into the comments section. Get in there live now and have your conversations, get your debates going, and obviously get any questions into me you want answers on. We're going to look ahead to the game as well later on tonight. How many changes would you make? Who are you expecting to see against Grimsby tonight? It is match day. It's weird having a match day right in the middle of this transfer week right now. It seems to be getting forgotten about because of everything that everybody wants to happen in the transfer window. And everyone clinging on to updates on what's actually happening with certain players, in particular big players at Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes, Kobbie Mainoo yesterday. Big update on Mainoo from what's been said and reported. Remember when we said last night, 48 hours from Chris Wheeler, and what's happening on the decision regarding the future of Kobbie Mainoo. We're going to bring you a different look on that as to who might be in for Kobbie Mainoo this morning. But Romano, I think, is the one where we're starting today with a very, very confident look on the Garnacho situation. And I'm just looking at it. We were talking about Fermin Lopez last night and Chelsea's approach for him from Barcelona. Barcelona are actually considering an offer apparently that is in the making from Chelsea for him. And it just sort of worried me a little bit yesterday. Oh, and not so much worried me actually, because if Garnacho doesn't go to Chelsea, I'm not particularly bothered, to be honest. I really don't care where he ends up. I hope he doesn't end up at Chelsea in a way, because he has held off on all of the clubs and Manchester United potentially getting a better deal for him by demanding that he is going to Chelsea and nobody else. So them looking at Lopez, Manchester United standing their ground on the price. So last night, Ben Jacobs said that United will not budge from 50 million. The Daily Mail are reporting that they're confident that they can do a deal for 30 to 35 million and they will buckle. The Daily Mirror also running with last night into this morning that Chelsea are very confident that they will get Garnacho for 35 million. It seems to be a million miles away, and that's the point we were making last night on Garnacho. But then Fabrizio Romano, and I expected this, we did our show at 6 o'clock last night, and then Romano came and updated us later on. And he said that Garnacho will be a Chelsea player. In his opinion, very, very confident that he will be a Chelsea player. So, like we've said all along, Romano's been saying this for nearly 3 weeks now, that conversations and discussions on Garnacho are advanced. It is coming close to completion. Garnacho will be a Chelsea player. Agreement from the club, agreement from the player. I'm just not that confident in it, because I just don't think Manchester United are going to let him go cheap. And if Chelsea feel like they are going to take it down to the last knockings of the window, like they did with Jadon Sancho last year, and get some form of deal out of Manchester United, I just think United are better prepared and are ready for this time. And Romano saying that Garnacho will definitely go to Manchester United. There's no danger. Other journalists saying that there is a discrepancy in the price and that the two clubs are miles apart. I just think shows in this transfer window that I think Manchester United have kept things a lot closer to their chest. They've guarded the news coming out of the football club, which is good. And we are obviously now only a few days away, which is the reasoning why we know that something is going to happen, because something has to happen. I would not put it past Garnacho having to rethink his stance and going to Chelsea. I hope Manchester United do just say to Chelsea, see you later. I don't care if you've agreed personal terms. We have to agree on the price, and Garnacho will only move if we get what we want for him. So I hope Manchester United hold that, because at this moment in time, I honestly do not see anybody else coming in apart from the goalkeeper, which we will discuss again in this show this morning a bit later on. But if I know that there's no one else coming in to Manchester United, I'm really not bothered what happens to Garnacho, because the money that we're going to get for Garnacho is not really going to be used. and we need players in now. If for instance, we have got a player lined up and it's hinged on Garnacho going to Chelsea no matter what, then maybe we would be interested in negotiating with Chelsea and doing a bit of a cheaper deal for the greater good and bringing in a better player. But there is just nothing out there at the moment that says to us that United are looking for another midfielder. So I think Manchester United's exits and the players that are looking to leave the football club, I think it's a decision that's been made, and I think they are very, very confident with where they're at with Garnacho at the moment. And I don't think there is any panic at all from Manchester United, and I love it. I love the fact that there isn't any rush. I think we would have got this deal done a long time ago if United were going to buckle. And Chelsea know that United obviously want to move Garnacho on, but United know that Ruben Amorim will deal with Garnacho in his own way, and he will have to suffer the consequences for his actions and how he has been and the way he's behaved, and he will look like an absolute idiot. I still think there will be an agreement later down the line. I think Chelsea will push to what Manchester United want, but being able to stand your ground like this for United, I think, is something fresh and something new for the football club. I think this is why we got all of our business done early. I do believe that they thought they would have had just enough and Bruno Fernandes would be good enough to play in midfield, and this has thrown a spanner in the works because obviously the first 2 games of the season, that was all right against Arsenal, but the warning signs against Fulham that we've all been talking about all week are there for everyone to see, and obviously we are concerned about the midfield going forward. But we have got players in there that we haven't tried yet. We've got little tweaks that haven't been worked with yet from Manchester United, and if the right midfielder isn't there and you're not going to put him straight in the side, we've said it all the way through the window, we're not going to go out and buy another player for the sake of it. Them days are gone for Manchester United. We're not just going to get anybody. We've done this before, and now we're stuck with them players because they can't fit in the side and nobody wants them. This, I think, is where Manchester United are at now. They know that Garnacho will have to find a way out of the football club. And don't forget, and this counts for all of the transfers right now, that the Turkish and the Saudi Pro League, their transfer windows are still open a couple of weeks into September. So United will obviously put pressure on. And it's the same with the Antony situation. We described yesterday in that Betis have waited all the way through the window. Now, we know when we're expecting a response from Manchester United to that Real Betis offer for Antony today. But again, that will take care of itself, I feel. I think the clubs have been talking for a while and trying to find a deal and the compromise to the loan/obligation with Antony. Garnacho is the only sale right now that is for money up front as a transfer. Everybody else is loans with obligations, options, triggered obligations, and all of that jazz. That's it. So they're a little bit more complicated. United just have to stand their ground with Garnacho and let the lad suffer. And I think they are fully prepared to do that. They really are, because I think Ruben Amorim is fully ready for what is coming with Garnacho, which could be him coming back into Manchester United's squad at some point. He's just going to just sit there and rot and not play any football. I don't see an apology coming. I don't see how he fits into the side anyway, even if he does apologise. And he's going to be in a similar situation to Joshua Zirkzee and Kobbie Mainoo there at United right now. So with Romano saying he's confident, I'm not so sure. This is one deal. I know back Romano on everything that he says, but this is purely, I feel, opinion on Romano, because this is something he said has been advanced, like I said, for 3 weeks now. And 3 weeks of advanced talks have got us nowhere. Look, we're into the last 5 days of the transfer window right now, and Garnacho is still a Manchester United player. We're into our 3rd game of the season, still no movement on Garnacho. So, yeah, if Romano's confident, that's good. Fair enough. He thinks the deal is going to happen. I don't know who he's been talking to between Chelsea and Manchester United, and his sources are there is good relationships, like he keeps on saying, between Omar Barada and the executives at Chelsea. That is fine, but if you don't meet the price, then Garnacho isn't going anywhere. And him saying that he feels he's going to be going for the last 3 weeks still isn't convincing me that Garnacho's going to go. And I am completely at ease with everything that's happening right now. I want Ruben Amorim to figure a way out of this. And you know what? If we don't buy a midfielder in, then the pressure is going to come on him, and he may have to tweak it. It may force Ruben Amorim into rethinking certain things. I know he's stubborn, and I know that he believes in his system, and that's great, but he is also now through another transfer window, and he doesn't have that backup. his grace period has gone, and he will be forced into doing different things. And we might see that in the game against Grimsby tonight. And if it's a good result and good performances by certain people in this game tonight, we may see them creep into the Burnley game. We will see. We'll talk about the game a bit further on later on. But just on the Rasmus Højlund situation as well, Romano again last night is saying that this is a deal with obligation for £40 million sterling for Rasmus Højlund. Talks were on last night, according to Damasio. Manchester United trying to make sure there is a guarantee that Rasmus Højlund is leaving the football club permanently. And that's all Manchester United are discussing at the moment. We're at the stage, like we explained yesterday, where it is now the exit talks between Manchester United and Rasmus. It looks like all agreement in place for Napoli and Rasmus, and obviously between Manchester United and Napoli. It's now between Rasmus and Manchester United. I think that's what everybody's saying, and that's where the talks are at. So last night's talks went on again for Rasmus Højlund, and it's expected that this deal is now going to be concluded. We were saying this all yesterday, but I think we're at the end now with this one, and we're expecting somebody, maybe Romano, to come out today, David Ornstein, whoever it is, and say that Rasmus Højlund is on his way to Napoli. Romano actually said yesterday again that he is waiting for the green light so he can go and fly to have his medical and fly to Napoli as a Napoli player, because it will be confirmed. He's on more money than he is at Manchester United. He's on a pretty decent deal with the obligation, a certain amount of appearances and Champions League qualification from Napoli to make it an obligation, and this will move forward. I think that maybe we're talking severance in terms of Rasmus and United, wage-wise and personal terms, something like that. Finer minor details of this transfer before it goes through. And Rasmus Højlund will be the first one out, and he's not even one of the bomb squad. So between Garnacho and Rasmus Højlund at this point, that's where we're at, and I feel like these deals are just going to get done. I don't think they're going to implement anything that Manchester United can do in the window. Again, I just don't think there's enough news out there that's convincing us that there is anything else going on the incoming side for United. Going to get some comments in on this one now, so have your thoughts, get in there. Again, I'm going to keep asking this question. It's going to keep on coming up constantly all of the time. Garnacho staying if United don't agree a deal. Are you wanting to just get rid of Garnacho right now and get the money in? If you knew that Manchester United were not bringing another player in with the money for Garnacho, would you be bothered about what we get for him? As in, stand your ground and he stays. If you know that we're not going to invest this money now and it's not going to go towards anything, would you be bothered about about letting Garnacho rot, basically? We didn't do enough in the market, did we? Even if we get a goalkeeper, we're further behind still. And I think we are moving forward, Daz. I think we have done well in the transfer market. We have brought good players in. If we get a goalkeeper, I still think we have had a pretty decent window. Getting rid of all of the deadwood, I think, is massively important also. And so I'm still in and around about an 8 out of 10 with all of the players out. If a goalkeeper comes in, it is a very, very good window. I think that. The Italian champions believe in Rasmus Højlund, but we don't. I rest my case. It's a stupid decision for me. I'm sure he will excel. Certainly did our best to wreck his career. Look, he shouldn't have come in the first place, Mr. Dacia Sandero. That was the problem with United. He shouldn't have come in the first place. Now we're looking at a situation where he should be. He should have moved from Atalanta to Napoli and stayed where he was the last 2 years. He shouldn't have come to United at the age he was. He would have developed more at Atalanta and be a better player going into Napoli right now. I think Napoli are only in fact, because Manchester United are desperate to move him and they have lost Romelu Lukaku. If Lukaku's fit, I think we've stuck with Rasmus Højlund. Christopher says, desperate attempt to brainwash fans into believing it's been anything but an atrocious window. How many were you selling? How many have you sold to date? 0. Let the window end is what I will say, Christopher, and then judge it. You cannot judge a window until it's finished. You can say you're not happy with where we're at right now, but all of a sudden, if United sell 2 players in a day and then get another 3 out before the window shuts, your comment becomes irrelevant completely because you haven't waited it out for the window to finish, mate. So, like I said before, give it every chance. Give it every chance. Let it finish first of all, and then we can judge it properly. I've been saying this all along. We just need to see how this window pans out going into the last few days. United obviously have been, I feel, been pushed to the limit by every single club for players that were looking to move on, and everybody's tried to take advantage of United. I think the club have been working overtime trying to get the best that they possibly can, and we're now in a position where we've come to the end game. It's time to start making some decisions, so let's see what happens. And if Garnacho stays was because we didn't get the right price, I still think we've made the right decision there. And I think that is proof that Manchester United's transfer window has changed, and the way that we approach deals has definitely changed. I rate this window as a 6 out of 10. We needed a midfielder and right wing back. Also, not selling players is shocking. Let the window finish. Again, judge it when it's done. That comment and the one before it is totally up there, right at the top, if we don't sell these players. But let's just see it end. I will be with you all. If we don't sell these players, that being the Antony, the Sancho, the Malacia, I expected Garnacho to go, but I stand by where I'm at with it. If Chelsea don't want to make the offer, then Garnacho, I'm happy for him to rot. But obviously, we should have moved out Rasmus Højlund by then. I still think we should have moved out Andre Onana or one of the goalkeepers by then. But yeah, if we don't move anybody on from this point, then yeah, I'm with everybody else. But I think we will be moving players on. No is the answer to the Garnacho situation with Silverback Gamer. He says, no, keep him. If it's not 50, then he stays on 50k. I know that's a lot to us guys, but let his sit. It's out. Garnacho Rasmus should have been the backup to not main striker. I hope he can do well. James says, morning Adam, stand our ground, let him rot. Showed us most disrespect for the club and manager, in my opinion, mate. Let him rot. I rate this window 6. Oh, I've just read that one out, sorry. By Ennis's own standard, 2 years for Amorim to prove to right. Tottenham seem desperate for a new attacker. We should offer him to Garnacho if Chelsea can't strike a deal. I think that has been talked about, and people have been speaking about Manchester United hoping that Tottenham will come in for Garnacho and actually come in and not so much make a bidding war, but move Chelsea forward. Chelsea have only got this stance because Garnacho feels like he is going to Chelsea. This is the only reason that Chelsea are being cocky in a way with what they think they're going to get Garnacho for. If anyone else was in, I think it would be a different ball game. But Garnacho is doing his best to make it difficult for Manchester United. And I think Manchester United, like I just said, are fully prepared to make it difficult for Garnacho. Moving players on being a stumbling block. However, the pull of the club was unexpectedly high. I rate the signings very high this window. I do feel goalkeeper and central midfielder are needed. Is anyone out there with an option for a midfielder still who we could actually bring in? We are running out of options when it comes to the right type of player, aren't we? Can Manchester United go back in for Baleba? His performances, body language in Brighton's shirt tells he doesn't want to play for the team again. We talked about that last night. Jamie Jackson was saying last night that Bruno Fernandes's sale, if he does agree to go, which I can't see happening, would be the perfect opportunity for Manchester United to go back in for Baleba. And they would go back in for Baleba if indeed Bruno Fernandes agrees to leave the football club. And again, if Bruno Fernandes is going to leave Manchester United, I think it should be United telling him that he needs to leave. Otherwise, he's not going to go, I don't think, anyway. Okay, moving on to Kobbie Mainoo, situation with him. Mike Keegan was talking about Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid both monitoring the situation. In fact, there was a really interesting piece from Laurie Whitwell talking about the Kobbie Mainoo situation, saying that the seeds were planted back in January. And whereas people would say that Kobbie Mainoo, people around the club would say that Kobbie Mainoo is not going to leave, or they don't expect Kobbie Mainoo to leave Manchester United, there is still talk and uncertainty around his future. He is actually open to leaving United if he cannot get guarantees. This is the same player that's got an agent behind him driving the wage demands of 180 grand a week. So if he feels he should be on 180 grand a week, he rates himself highly. And that would also move into the talks here about him moving football club, because he isn't going to get that contract at United. If he's not going to play at Manchester United, he sees himself better than a player sat on the bench from the academy on 20 grand a week wages. He's had a taste for the big time. He's played in international tournaments. And if you put all of that together and you look at the stance of a player and how he is looking at his own future, then maybe Kobbie Mainoo could leave Manchester United. But Mike Keegan's saying that both Madrid clubs are looking at the situation with Kobbie Mainoo and just monitoring it. That's a player that he's a player that both of them clubs would jump to, because really cheap wages, very, very young, and has got that sell-on factor later down the line, and could become an even better player. He is perfect for any transfer out of Manchester United, for any club right now. And United would have to get a potential sale for him. The Athletic are reporting right now, when Chelsea inquired about Kobbie Mainoo in January, they were quoted a 70 million asking price. There is belief that Manchester United would now accept around 45 million, potentially even less. Is that real? That cannot be real from the Athletic. There's no way that they're reporting that. But that has been quoted from the Athletic, that I'm just reading right now, that Manchester United would accept less than 45 million for Kobbie Mainoo. That would go down like a lead balloon amongst the Manchester United fan base. There's no way that Manchester United would accept anything less than surely 70 million for Kobbie Mainoo. That would be just absolute. That would be suicide for Manchester United. It would. I understand it's pure profit. And Manchester United could even argue that PSR-wise, 45 million is actually quite a bit of money. But Kobbie Mainoo's worth a lot more than that. I'm sorry. I'm staggered. I just need to double check that actually and just see if that is actually the Athletic that's actually saying that, because right, actually I'm going to bring this up from the Athletic now. Let me just read this. Kobbie Mainoo is open to leaving Manchester United before his summer transfer window closes next Monday, having discussed as much with teammates. United meanwhile have been considering the prospect of selling Mainoo all summer, sources say. So that coming from the Athletic. I'm trying to find the actual article, but there's an extract of it there actually on the X account of the Athletic saying exactly this. Right, I'm going to bring it up. I need to read into this a little bit more. So this is the United sources. This is the article. This is the actual article. United sources insist they are not actively pushing Mainoo out the door. However, the staff are happy with him, albeit like all players, he has areas to improve. People at Old Trafford expect him to remain at Manchester United beyond the next week's deadline, with the caveat that anything can happen in the final days of the transfer window. Obviously covering themselves. But aside from the pursuit of Carlos Baleba, a dream target who is considered too expensive to prize away from Brighton & Hove Albion this year, United's summer-long search for a midfielder has forced more heavily on identifying an alternative to Bruno Fernandes, somebody who would play alongside either Casemiro or Manuel Ugarte, one who would, in effect, replace Mainoo within the squad, as per Amorim's latest description of his role. Bayern Munich have explored Kobbie Mainoo situation. By Leverkusen under Erik Ten Hag have also inquired, is what it's saying here. Mainoo is thought to prefer moving to the continent rather than staying in the Premier League. He explored options in Germany when coming through United's academy, even though there has been interest from closer to home. When Chelsea inquired his availability during January window, Stamford Bridge officials were quoted 70 mil. There is belief United would accept around 45 million, potentially even less, as the deadline draws nearer. That is real then. That story is actually real. The Athletic are reporting that Manchester United would accept less than 45 million for Kobbie Mainoo. It's absolutely ludicrous. Who is actually thinking that at Manchester United at this moment in time? It's absolutely crazy to think that Kobbie Mainoo should be being sold by Manchester United for that price. That is madness. In fact, get into the comment section, everybody. Going to get everyone's thoughts on this now. Just reading into that. Didn't believe into it at first, but that seems a bit... It seems far-fetched, but then again, like, it's right there in The Athletic. I've just read it from the website. Unpopular, perhaps, but I'm fully prepared to give Amorim this whole season. I just don't think we can judge yet. Last season was a write-off immediately. Can you write a season off as Manchester United? Again, the question of where United should be, what we should be competing for, is always going to come in when you're giving a manager, or so-called new manager, a bit of time to find his way. A year in November for Ruben Amorim and Manchester United in the bottom half of the table is going to tell a lot of people a big story here in terms of what is happening. And we're looking here at a situation where United need to be in some form of competitive area within this league table. We cannot have the players we've got and then say that we are just still in progress and not moving up the table. It's not going to work. Gems, thank you for the gifted memberships. 5 gifted memberships. Please give Gems a thank you in the live chat, everybody, if you have been gifted one of them. Absolute brilliant. Thank you so much. Please get into the comments and tell me how much Kobbie Mainoo is worth in your eyes. What would you do if the bids came in? How much would you accept for Kobbie Mainoo? We're struggling with a two-man midfield. Can't expect a 20-year-old with no experience to fix that, especially with no Bruno. You're effing kidding me, right? Absolute insanity. Well, Nuke, we're looking at a situation here where United might be looking to get rid of Kobbie Mainoo. There's no way that Manchester United would get rid of Kobbie Mainoo if they didn't have a replacement lined up. Absolutely no chance whatsoever. I can't see it. It would be, with what Manchester United have got as options, one of the biggest transfer mistakes ever by this football club. And I'm not saying that Kobbie Mainoo is the saviour. I said it last night. He didn't do anything last season to warrant a place guaranteed in the starting 11, and we're only 2 games in. So really, should he be looking at this and moaning if it's only 2 games? Plenty of games left where he can come in and feature. He wasn't the be-all and end-all last season, Kobbie. His injury record is appalling, and he hasn't done enough like everybody else last season. So he shouldn't be moaning about not being in the side in a way. I think what we're looking at here is the fact that Ruben Amorim at weekend brought on 2 centre-backs instead of bringing on Zirkzee or Kobbie Mainoo. And decisions by Ruben Amorim in game are what people are really questioning here with the likes of Kobbie Mainoo. Like, why are you not bringing him on? It just seems ridiculous. Darren says, if Garnacho is worth 50 million, why is a midfielder who can't stay fit worth more? Mainoo got too many minutes too soon. I understand he wants to play, but at United, why aren't the standards higher? It's a good point. It's a very good point. I get that. I said this just then, really. Has he done enough to really say that he is an outstanding candidate to play week in, week out instead of Bruno Fernandes? The answer is no. As a sub, the argument that I have just put down is relevant. I think that's definitely there. But for less than 45 million, no, definitely not. Definitely not. And the fact that they've said that he's less than 45 million, so you can't even bring Garnacho into it. If you're talking 50 million for Mainoo, then you might have a little bit of an argument here because he's not really played a full season yet. We've seen glimpses of a player. But again, I think, is this a case of United fans hyping up a young academy player to a level where he's not there? He's not at yet. It could be the case. 45 for Mainoo is peanuts. Just let him play and compete. Let Bruno play and compete in the 10 role instead of central midfield. If he starts dropping Bruno and rotating him in 10s, I don't think anyone's got a problem. Lots of people have been making up their own formations as to how this could actually work at Manchester United. If you played a back 4, for instance, you could have De Ligt and Yoro, Leacher and Yoro, Heaven, Yoro. You notice how I'm putting Yoro into everything. I would always have De Ligt and Lenny Yoro. You could then have your fullbacks. You've got on the left-hand side, comfortably, you could play Patrick Dorgu, I feel. He could bomb up and down there. No issue at all. On the right-hand side, you've got Dalot. You could easily play Mazraoui as well as a natural fullback. You've got plenty of options there. So you've got Diego Leon, you've got Luke Shaw, you've got Patrick Dorgu on the left-hand side. You've got Mazraoui, you've got Dalot, and Dorgu can also play on the right-hand side as well. You're moving into the midfield then. You have two holding midfielders with one in front of him. So you've got your two players there, which is, I feel, Kobbie Mainoo and Casemiro, for instance. Both of them players. Casemiro can sit, Kobbie Mainoo can move forward at will, but fill that hole in midfield. Bruno Fernandes just in front of them two. Then you've got your 4-2, and then you'll have the 3 and the 1. So your 3 will be, I think, Mbeumo left. You've got Cunha on the right, or vice versa, or Ahmad can come in there as well. Sesko up front, Bruno just behind. Ahmad could come on and alternate with Bruno Fernandes in 10, or with Mbeumo or Cunha on the left. Zirkzee could come in and rotate. I think you've got 3 positions there that the 10s can then rotate with. So, for instance, if you've got the 5-10s predominantly, if you're going to move Mainoo back, you've got the 5-10s there, haven't you, then? When in Bruno, Ahmad, Cunha, Mbeumo and Zirkzee, all behind Benjamin Sesko. And I think you've got 3 players then that you could rotate around. I think it's a bit easier to get players in and out and give each player ample game time. I think that looks sensible. And that can be tweaked within the game itself. I just think he's very, very strict in his formation and his system and what he wants to do, Ruben. And I think we're questioning certain players because they're not fitting into Ruben's system, where Ruben's system could be tweaked and then players could become better players because they're in a more natural position. Look, it's got to go both ways. I understand stick to your principles and what's made you the manager that you are and what you've been successful with, but you've got to have a little bit of you've got to be able to adapt a little bit as well, I feel. Andreas with the super chat. When rating the quality of the transfers must be taken into account. I rate it 8 so far. If Garnacho 50 million, Baleba 150 million coming in, then Mainoo is 70 million. Probably. I get like people rating Mainoo at that price. I do. But then I think it was Dan who said it in there. Why is he rated so high? What has he done? Apart from a few moments in certain games. Are we actually looking at this with purely red-tinted glasses and not looking at the bigger picture? Interesting. Anyway, moving on to other news. We've covered Garnacho. Just on the Garnacho one, don't forget and this is why I'm not fully confident in what Romano said for a change, because when you look at the Garnacho situation, let's not forget about Fermin Lopez and that bid that's gone in. If they're going for Xavi Simons and Fermin Lopez, I cannot see them going for Garnacho as well. So maybe there is a replacement lined up there. But Romano, again, like I said, and this was quote Romano, but Garnacho will be a Chelsea player in my personal opinion. Garnacho is going to Chelsea. I maintain my position, so we just have to wait for the formal steps. He says he's going. Moving on. Antony. Situation where we're at with him. Yesterday we brought you the report at midday. This was from Mike McGrath of the Telegraph saying that there has been an agreement in principle. Now we are waiting for the response from Manchester United formally, officially, from the bid that did actually go in yesterday from Betis. It's a loan with obligation to buy later down the line. Waiting on that one to come in and make sure that Manchester United, again, like with Rasmus Højlund, checking out all the details that this player is going to be permanently leaving Manchester United if it's an initial loan. I think this is triggered by the experience from last summer with Jadon Sancho and Chelsea being able to get out of an obligation loan. Ridiculous. And Manchester United stuck with him and still here and still not with a club because Jadon Sancho has officially said no to Roma now, and that deal is off. So at the moment, Jadon Sancho has no links, has no conversations going on. There may be something going on behind the scenes, but Sancho is not going anywhere. He is still waiting it out for the perfect deal for him and what he thinks his skills and qualities, I think, what he deserves. Deluded. completely deluded player. But Damasio coming out last night and fully confirming that Jadon Sancho has officially said no to Roma. That deal now will not happen, and it's back to the drawing board. Nobody's in. Juventus have cooled off. Roma are out. Borussia Dortmund don't want him. He wants to go Dortmund and has agreed to go, but the hierarchy at Dortmund don't want him. They have said no and blocked the deal from happening, as of Florian Plettenberg. So, right now, Jadon Sancho still is a Manchester United player and is going absolutely nowhere. Oh my God, it is... he is the top of the tree, isn't it, when it comes to annoyance? You mean Garnacho's there, but Jadon Sancho in that situation, my God, ridiculous. But I don't know, maybe Turkey's still on the cards for Sancho, and United, like we've said before, still have that as a get out. So when the window closes, if Sancho hasn't been sold, there is still a chance that he could move on to Turkey. Besiktas interested, Fenerbahce still interested, and that could be something that we do see happen. United are not relying on Jadon Sancho's transfer to bring in any other players. I don't think that's even important to them. So not much drama or not much panic from Manchester United around Jadon Sancho at the moment. But again, I think they've got to a stage with Sancho now where they're just giving up on him actually acting like he wants to play football anymore. Like I said, Man United are 3 games in after tonight to the season, and this lot haven't kicked a ball. How can you be a professional footballer and sit out 4 months with not playing? When you know that you could have made a move happen? You're turning down deals left, right and centre. This is Garnacho and Jadon Sancho right now. Turning down offers, very good offers as well, from very good football clubs because you think you should be earning more. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. But that's what we're dealing with at this football club now, and that's what it's always going to be like. Until we get rid of these deadwood players, that is, anyway. And I do see brighter future for Manchester United past this sort of transfer window with the issues that we've got. But we're still in it. It's still painful dealing with it. And we're going to have to sit it out for a few days longer, I feel. Please give the video a like while you're at it. Please, everybody, get your comments in as well. Make sure that you have subscribed to Forever United TV as well. We have passed the 98,000 subscriber mark. So giveaway this time tomorrow morning off the back of the Grimsby game tonight. If you wasn't around yesterday morning, in the morning show, there is a pinned comment on that video right now in the comment section. If you want to be part of a shirt giveaway like this one, courtesy of OK Jerseys, QR code in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen there, or link in the description and in the live chat from the mods. Make sure that you click on that, grab yourself a bag and get any top from around Europe there. We are going to be doing a bit of a giveaway from that tomorrow morning as well. So yes, if you can't wait, get onto the description and click on the link for OK Jerseys, and also the QR code when it scans up on your screen as well. Disappointed in Ineos with this. Another loan, that from Ant. Is this the Sancho one you're talking about, buddy? Thanks for the super chat, mate. Timecaser says Chelsea will only sign Garnacho if the value is less than 30 million. They're not signing Garnacho, like I said. And this is why I find it confusing about Fabrizio Romano's stance. United are not going to sell him for that price. If it hadn't been for Garnacho being made the villain, it would have been Kobe Mainu. You're all sheep, apparently, says Chris. So, Garnacho leaking the news, apparently. I'm saying this because I cannot honestly see Ruben Amorim going out to the media and saying everything that he said behind closed doors. So a leak from Manchester United is the reason why Garnacho has been made out to be the villain. Garnacho, I feel, has seen his ass because he's not professional and leaked this news out that he has been made the scapegoat. So, yeah, no, completely wrong. I disagree with that comment there, Chris, I'm afraid. But United sources should cut off the athletic, especially Ornstein, i.e. The so-called god of transfers. He was the one that disclosed the Ruben and Nacho conversation, which has made it difficult to sell. Well, there is some connection in there with Ornstein and Manchester United. I still can't believe it managed to leak out that news around Garnacho. It's a joke that it did because it has hampered us this transfer window for sure. But I said, like, In time, we'll have moved these players on. In time, we'd have got through this, and we won't have to deal with players like this anymore. But we still got to, like I said, we still got to deal with it for a little bit longer. The Athletic, Mainu wants 200k a week, not 180k. There we go. This is why he wants to leave. He wants crazy money. Let me double check that, because I'm reading into that article before. I can't see it being 200 grand a week wages that he wants. Right, in terms of Mainu's situation, that comment's just brought it up for me. The rapid ascent is why even some who know Mainu well can sympathise that a potentially critical junction in his career, the next step is a difficult one to navigate for both the player and the club. Mainu is currently paid around 20 grand a week. Conversations over a new extended deal have taken place over the past year and have understandably centred around the hike to that salary. As a key player for the club, Mainu was hoping for a substantial improvement in his terms, potentially up to 10 times those present wages. So that's where they're getting it from. The Athletic are saying 10 times his current wages. So obviously that would be 200 grand a week. And that's where the comment has dragged that out from there. But that is in the article, so it's there. The Athletic reporting that some people around Kobbie Mainoo feel like he should be on 10 times what he's on now, which would equate to 200 grand a week wages. So again, if you've got a player that's wanting that, then I'm not surprised that there is talks of him not staying at Manchester United. Ruben Amorim is very keen on players falling in line and knowing where they stand in the pecking order. Mainoo, and I'll say this again, Kobbie Mainoo, I love the kid. I think he has a ceiling. I really do. And I think it's been nowhere near met yet. He's not reached that ceiling yet. But he has done nothing, and I mean nothing, to convince this football club or anyone at this football club to pay him them wages. He has earned enough to get a pay rise. Yes. 80, 100 grand a week wages is where Kobbie Mainoo should be right now. Maybe incentives to push that further if we get certain landmarks and he does certain things. But this is why I feel we've not, for the last, 8 to 9 months, have been talking about Kobbie Mainoo's contract. We haven't heard anything in terms of a breakthrough. I think this is it. Like the Athletics report there on Kobbie and them going in deep in detail on this right now. I think there's been a lot of reporting going on this because no one expected Kobbie to leave. No one did. And then all of a sudden, because of the start of the season, you've got journalists now doing that extra work behind the scenes to try and find out what's going on. This is why all of these reports now are starting to come out and surface around Kobbie Mainoo's future. He is now the hot topic around United and is seen as a player that could be wanting out. He thinks he should be on more money. He thinks he should be playing more at Manchester United. This, I think, has got to the point now where, right at the end of the window, Manchester United would actually consider selling him because of these demands and where the player thinks he's actually at. Ruben Amorim would leave Kobbie Mainoo on the bench because he feels he should be playing and should be on more money than a lot of Manchester United starters right now. Kobbie Mainoo thinks that he should be on more than players in this squad right now. Let's go through the list of players that are playing right now. Do you think Kobbie Mainoo should be on more than Lenny Yoro, Matthias de Ligt, Patrick Dorgu, Amad Diallo, Luke Shaw, Manuel Ugarte, Matthias Cunha, Brian Mbeumo, Benjamin Sesko, Joshua Zirkzee, Nus Mazraoui? All of these players at United, Kobbie Mainoo and his representatives feel like he should be on more than them. These are players that have been playing for years and established themselves in first team football, whether it be abroad and then coming into Manchester United, or whether it be within Manchester United and have earned them contracts. He feels like he should be on more than every one of them players. Has he done enough to warrant them wages? That's what you've got to say. That's the question, I think, right now. Because if he feels like he is, and that's his stance, and Ruben knows about this, I can kind of understand why Ruben is keeping him in line. And Ruben is big for this. He's done it before. He won't take young academy players and fill the bench in Europe, making them think that they've made it and are part of Man United's squad. He was very, very keen on giving certain individuals from the academy a little bit of game time last season and in pre-season. He wasn't just playing set players for the sake of it. He wasn't just playing academy players because they're being talked about. If they're not good enough, they're not going to play. And Ruben at the moment clearly feels like Kobbie Mainoo's best position is the 8, but Bruno Fernandes is there. And there is only one 8 in this team. So that, I think, is the problem right now. I still believe Kobbie's more of a 10 than an 8 anyway. And I think he plays his better football in the 10 role. But 180 to 200 grand a week wages, that is absolute madness. It is. He's never going to reach that. He's never going to reach that at Manchester United in these contract negotiations. And you could argue this, if you really wanted to dig deep on this, Ruben Amorim not playing him just so he doesn't have an argument to make when negotiating this contract. So he's on the bench, he's not playing, so why would the club give him 180 grand a week? You could look at it that way, but I doubt it. I don't think Ruben Amorim feels like he is the player for his system. That's all. And I now feel like with no breakthrough in contract negotiations and not getting in the side, Kobbie Mainoo is now looking elsewhere. I think that's what's happening. How many changes tonight? Let's get on to the game a little bit. So we'll obviously keep you up to date throughout the day on the transfer news, but it is game day. We need to remember that. Don't forget, tonight we have the watch along for the Grimsby game here on FUTV. We all set up for that, so make sure that you're with us later on. How many changes? Who are you looking to see tonight, everybody? Obviously, Kobbie Mainoo is going to be one of them, I'm sure. But anybody else you want to see tonight come in? Are you taking anyone out, or are you trying to get some confidence into the performances of these players? Is it time to start playing Benjamin Sesko? Should he start tonight? Should Joshua Zirkzee come in at some point tonight as well? Kobbie Mainoo, Zirkzee, Andre Onana, Benjamin Sesko. That conversation has been going on this week. And a lot of people are saying that we're expected to see them players. I think Mark Ogden of ESPN said Manchester United will give first appearances of the season to Onana, Sesko, Mainoo and Joshua Zirkzee from the start. I think Mark Ogden there is just basically guessing at the moment with that, going off what's happened. So, yeah, still not fully believing that will happen tonight, going off how Ruben actually is with selecting his certain players. But I do believe that what we're looking at here is, for United, I think a chance tonight, a real chance to actually get some minutes in legs, but boost some confidence, I feel. Boost some confidence. I feel like tonight's a good chance for Joshua Zirkzee and Benjamin Sesko to get game time. Maybe bring out Brian Mbeumo, rest him up. Maybe bring out Cunha. Like, maybe he could come on off the bench, but I would definitely be looking at giving game time to Benjamin Sesko from the start. Zirkzee, I don't know. Maybe he'll start him, maybe he won't. I think it's only fair that Joshua Zirkzee gets some minutes tonight as well. I would like to see him. I would like to see Kobbie Mainoo and Manuel Ugarte. No need to play Bruno Fernandes tonight for me. I don't think that's necessary. Centre-backs, do we change it up? Do we see Aidan Heaven come in? Do we see, obviously, Harry Maguire come in? We could see changes there. Maybe rest out De Ligt. I will carry on playing Lenny Yoro. I just think he just needs to play games. That kid, he's just getting better and better. But options there to use at the back. I wouldn't mess around with a goalkeeper either. I'd make my point right now and just keep Bayndare in goal. I think he needs confidence. I think he needs to be built up to a point where we are now, knowing that Andre Onana is not number one at Manchester United. Senny Lamens, by the way, we are expecting to finalise personal terms. We haven't mentioned him this show so far. Them talks are still ongoing, and Manchester United are expecting to get that all done and over the line in the next couple of days. So no panic there, even with the Galatasaray bid coming in. But going back to the game again, I would keep Bayndare in goal. There's no point in bringing Andre Onana in for me. I think this is the perfect opportunity to show Andre Onana that he needs to find another football club. Ruben probably will play him to mix it up, but if you're not looking to sell Andre Onana and you're looking to loan him, then I would definitely not play him tonight. 100%. And I feel like that will set. I think that will set the tone. That will give him the biggest indication yet that he needs to go out and find another club. So if you are serious about bringing Senny Lammens in and moving Andre Onana out and not making him number one, then don't play him tonight. No reason to play him tonight. Play Tom Eaton, says Leon. Yeah. Tom Eaton in, everybody. Get Tommy in the Carabao Cup. I don't think it's going to happen anyway. Don't forget, guys, as well, tonight we are on the Match Bingo. Match sponsors tonight for the watch-along. Grab your tickets now. £2 a ticket for the game tonight with up to £250 to be won on the game. It is just like playing bingo with match events. That is it. Scan the QR code on your screen right there now, or click in the description or live chat on that link for Match Bingo. They are our match day sponsors. It is dead easy to play. It's like playing bingo with corners, goals, substitutions, VAR decisions, off the bar, off the post, certain things that can happen in a game. Ticked off on your card, £25 a line, just like playing bingo. And obviously, full house, you get the jackpots in there as well. Up to £250 tonight for the game, everybody. So get in there and play along with us. Get your cards now, everyone. We are there, and we are hoping for another FUTV winner. We had a couple last week, which is good. So I think one winner got £50 last week. So get involved with that, everybody. We have got that, and we're playing along on the watch along later on, everyone. So make sure that you are there. Get your comments in when the video finishes its live. Thank you, London, for the gifted membership again. Legends, 6 new members on the show, 500 likes in the bag. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. I'll be here later on with all the updates as always, everybody. Thank you again for your participation in the show. I will see you in a bit. Busy old day today. Busy old day. So I'll keep you posted as the day goes on. It's going to change up the schedule a little bit later on because of the watch-along as well. It may just be a prolonged show right into the watch-along. We'll see how we play it out anyway. But thank you, everybody, for being part of the show. I will see you all later on. Of course, I'll keep you updated. We're expecting some news coming out. Give the video a like. Subscribe to Forever United TV. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you all